Alright guys, what's up? I am out here at Mount Seymour in North Vancouver and thought I'd do a bit of a review on the 2020 Norco site. I've had this bike for about 6 months now, so gotten used to it, gotten used to the differences between the old one, and thought now was a good time. So coming into it, I was coming off 3 versions of the older site, the 2014, 2016 and 2017. And so this one is a huge change. Obviously longer, slacker, a bit more travel, just a more planted bike. Personally, I was after like an all mountain sort of bike, and this is what this bike is sort of advertised towards. And I think it is going a bit more in the way of enduro. You can see that from the Norco Enduro team for the EWS are all riding the site, or we're supposed to be riding the site this year in 2020. Whether that happens or not, due to what the current circumstances in the world are, we never know. But so this model is the A2. It is a large and a 29er. Spec wise, I thought it was really good. So we got the Fox 36s, 160mm travel on the front, and the Fox Float X2 on the rear, 150mm of rear travel. From the wheel set from stock was a DT Swiss 370 hub laced to a Stans Flow rim. That 370 hub I thought was a bit of a letdown. I went and bought a second-hand set of wheels to update, so I got a 350 hub laced to the DT Swiss EX511 rim, and I'm running the 54 tooth star ratchet in the rear driver. That made a huge difference. Just the engagement points just really helped bring the bike alive. Other than that, the only things I've changed is the saddle, just personal preference, and the dropper post lever. Gone to a 1-up lever from a Trans X. I think that lever was just shit house, but you know, personal preference. Other than that, the bike is really good, really planted. It is definitely more aggressive on the climbs. It is a bit harder. You know, definitely a heavier bike. You're just lugging it up the hills, and yeah, the thing I was a little bit not disappointed but shocked by is there is no rear lockout switch on this bike. As far as I'm aware, any of the Fox provided models of the site don't have a rear lockout switch. I personally think they need one. There is not too much bob when you're sitting in the seat and pedaling up the hill, but when you're standing up and grinding it out, it is really noticeable. Other than that, I think it is a really planted bike and I've been really enjoying it. If I was back home in Australia riding a bit more mellow trails, I probably would go the Optic. I think as an all mountain bike, this is a little bit too much, but for the trails here in North Vancouver, the more downhill focused stuff, it is awesome. All right, let's get out and do some riding. I don't think I've ridden this trail on this bike yet. I rode it a couple of times last winter when the snow was out, but nothing since everything's melted away. I forgot how awkward some of those sections are. I've also taken a volume spacer out for this ride. I found that I hadn't been using all the travel, so I've been running them pretty soft, 75 psi in the front. A bit lower than Norco recommends. For my weight, that is. second trail now down to Dales. Funny, that first trail was a bit awkward and techy. Very rough in there. And I think as much as 29ers are supposed to excel in those chundery sections, I think the slower tech stuff, they struggle a bit. They're not as nimble and they just can't roll through over those roots and those parts where you really need to negotiate the trail. Once you get the speed up though, they certainly can just run over anything you want them to. I'm definitely noticing that long space taken out of the front shock, the fork. Been riding the flats a lot lately just to try ride some more features, more of the tech stuff. I thought I'd put the clips on for a change. Oh. Probably a little bit too early. That's another thing with the 29er. I seem to hit the bottom of my frame a lot more than I did with my 27.5. Oh fuck. Tried to do a nose pivot there and pull my foot out of the clip. I think for a few people this might be where the true river after begins. We missed that awkward climbing first section. Do a bit more fun.
love this section. Until you get to the climb, of course. Just me. Thank you. Those two Seymour rocks scared me for a while. It's definitely better now that we're out of winter and it's not so wet though. Surprisingly got more grip than you expect. And that's it. Forever after complete.